Economic Mobility Pathways Pilot, or EMPP to those who may be familiar in the room. This is an innovative program that doesn't seek to maximize the economic opportunity for refugees by chance, but by choice. It's a program that is, at its core, economic in nature, but whose participants are required to be displaced persons.
Les projets pilotes sur les voies d'accès à la mobilité économique fonctionnent en parallèle avec nos autres volets d'immigration économique pour pourvoir des postes essentiels dans des domaines comme les soins de santé, les technologies et l'école. Nous avons vu un certain nombre de réussites jusqu'à présent et nous continuons à travailler avec nos organisations partenaires, les provinces, les territoires, les communautés, les employeurs et les leaders sectoriels pour étendre le projet pilote.
You know, this program is extremely important. And I like to draw on examples in my own community because these are not about data points that we keep at IRCC. These are about real people and real communities. We've benefited from this program at Glenhaven Manor, a long-term care facility that for too long had parents aging community when their families had moved away to other parts of the country or overseas. Glenhaven Manor was having, like so many other employers in the health sector, difficulty finding staff. They embraced this opportunity, and I should give credit to the province of Nova Scotia as well, who's really dug in to make the most of this particular pilot program. And they started welcoming large numbers of care providers who had the skills that were necessary to come and provide care to elderly people who live in my community. The result has been that grandparents who previously had to go to Halifax to receive the care they needed are receiving care in the community where their grandkids are being raised. They get to still know them because they're able to get the care they need in their own community. Moreover, since we've embraced immigration as a region, we've seen people move back home who initially moved away because with all the people moving into the community, opening businesses and different types of businesses than we were accustomed to, my community is a more vibrant and dynamic place to call home. And there's more young families than there were before. In fact, I don't know if Bahati is here. I thought she was going to be. One of the participants in this program has actually started a family of her own in our community. And now her sister, who was previously in Toronto, moved to rural Nova Scotia just to continue to be close to their family. In our ongoing effort to scale this program up and to respond to the needs of employers, I'm so pleased to announce that this new program, the Economic Mobility Program, will have a standalone federal pathway as soon as this summer. This program will avoid the need for employers to tap into the provincial nominee program, whose precious spaces are hard to come by, or through the Atlantic Immigration Program in my neck of the woods.
Cette nouvelle voie d'accès élargira l'accès à davantage d'employeurs dans une vaste gamme de secteurs et d'industries partout au pays, afin de les aider à combler des pénuries de main-d'œuvre.
The expanded options mean that this summer, employers are going to be able to hire refugees and other qualified displaced people under any job category. This is going to help Canadian businesses, our healthcare sector in particular, and others recover by bringing in the skills we need in-demand jobs. We know that Canada needs nurses' aides, personal support workers, long-term care aides, software engineers, teachers, construction workers, and everywhere else across the economy.
Nous nous appuyons également sur ce que nous avons appris. Les nouvelles voies rendent le processus de demande plus facile et plus rapide pour les employeurs, grâce à des critères normalisés à l'exigence pour les candidats de présenter seulement en demande.
In most cases, we hope to be able to process people through start to finish in about 6 months. And this is going to help improve the existing program, which will still maintain those other parallel pathways. The reality is, I think we need to inspire ourselves to think bigger. I don't think we have to take it as a given that we live in a world where refugee camps are something we accept as normal, where hundreds of thousands of people move out of necessity to flee violence, war, or persecution to a place where they are denied the most civil, social, and political rights that we all take for granted. There's 100 million displaced people in this world. We had almost 1 million jobs available in this country this past summer. And there's 100 million people who have skills to offer that currently have no chance. I've met people who are third-generation members of families that have been living in refugee camp. There's one family who came to one of my communities in rural Nova Scotia. When they brought their children to the house, they were astounded. And when the community members who volunteered to bring them there asked what they were so surprised by, they said, "We'd never seen stairs before at the entry to their home." These kids are growing up in the community. The parents are both working in the community, making a difference. And in the long term, they're going to help us overcome some of our most problematic demographic trends, the consequences of which I outlined previously. The reality is if we do the right thing, we're able to also serve our self-interest. You know, I remember on my first day at the law firm where I started my career, one of the senior partners came in and said, I'm going to teach you something about negotiation. People are interested in doing the right thing unless it's easier for them to do something else. You can trust a person's self-interest every bit as much as you can trust their sense of altruism. If we develop a program that allows people to do the right thing, that also meets an essential need, there's no limit on what we can achieve. Canada serves this year as the global chair of the UN's Task Force on Labour Mobility. By demonstrating that we are putting our faith in this project, by establishing a new standalone federal pathway, my hope is we can share this lesson with other countries in the world who can help chip away so that in the future we don't have to accept there's 100 million people who don't have a safe place to call home. Folks, this is the kind of innovative thinking that's going to help us change the world in the future. I'm thrilled to be able to help lead this initiative on behalf of the Government of Canada because I don't think there's any other place where this is possible. I've met people who are working in long-term care like Bahati. I met a gentleman named Daniel in Toronto who's working for a major Canadian tech business. I've met a nurse named Dilruba who's working in Newfoundland. And when I asked her what her experience was like, she said, it's nice because I never had a home before. And now I'm not a refugee, I'm a Newfoundlander. And the community treats me that way. I'm telling you folks, there's no greater reward in the world than seeing the policies have an impact on the real people who come to live in our communities and make a meaningful impact. I want to say thank you to all the players in the room who I know have been working on the EMPP initiative, the referral partners in particular who are going to help us identify displaced talent that are going to serve the needs of the Canadian business community and allow us to uphold our proud tradition of continuing to welcome the world's most vulnerable with open arms. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm very much looking forward to the conversation. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.